Hi everyone, welcome back to my adventure channel. I'm Lucy and I'm going to be talking about all the things I think are essential to take on your day hiking adventures. So happy new year, we're in 2021, but it's been a bit of a rocky start, hasn't it? Let's be honest. We're in lockdown here in the UK. There's chaos across the pond, but nevertheless, I am still very, very optimistic that we are going to get our adventures this year, and that's why I'm here to try and help you get clear on what you need on your day hiking adventures to come. Now, if you are a subscriber, if you have been with me before, you may notice that I'm in a different place. Sammy and I, if you can see Sammy, we're both in our jumpers. We're back in the countryside because I came back here before COVID got crazy again, and now I'm stuck here. So I'm making the most of it, not in my apartment, but it doesn't matter. We're going to make videos. We're going to keep going no matter what. Now, the reason I'm going to start talking about day hiking is a perfect way to start to get you into adventures, or it's the perfect thing to do if we're in lockdown. I'm going to walk you through all the things that I sort of tend to carry on a hiking adventure just in the day. This, of course, will vary where you are in the world, whether you're in the jungle or mountains or whatever, but let's just keep it to the standard UK hiking for now. The kit I'll be showing you today is more of the higher end stuff of the budget. That's mainly because I want it to last a long time. A lot of this stuff has lasted more than 5 years, or I want lots of durability, but it's also versatile. So I not only use it just for sort of local adventures and day adventures, but also going sort of far off into the remote places as well. So first up on my list is, of course, you need something to carry everything in. It's the rucksack. So the rucksack, I really like rucksacks. I think it's fantastic that you can carry everything you need, whether it be on just for the day or for an expedition that lasts 2-3 months, and you've got everything you need on your back. And it's so fulfilling and rewarding knowing that you can do that. Of course, if you're just going out for the day, you don't need a massive bag. I tend to take something like this. This is just, 33 litres? So anything 30 to 40 litres. And it's really good because if you are just going out for an overnight as well, this will mean that it's quite versatile and you can use it for then too. So the key things to look out for a bag when you're looking for it. This is an Osprey one. I like Osprey for smaller bags, but also Low Alpine do really good bags, and mountain equipment. There's loads. And I know it can be overwhelming, but the key things to look out for are make sure it's got a good top pocket. I do like a top pocket and an inner pocket, because I'll go into what you can keep in there afterwards. It's got a good sort of support, both a chest strap and waist. You are going to have to probably try a few out to make sure it's the right size and feels comfortable once you put some weight in. But something that I think is really important for when buying a bag, no matter how big it is these sort of straps here. These essentially, when you've got a bit of a heavier weight in the bag, you can pull it tight and it will pull the whole bag towards your back, because a lot of the time people get sort of sore backs and sore shoulders because their bag's just not sitting right. So these straps are really important to help with that. Next up, so you've got your rucksack. What else do you need in a rucksack? You need to keep everything waterproof. Now, I know a lot of people like to use the waterproof covers that come with rucksacks a lot of the time. They're great, but they will not keep everything dry if you're in proper Scottish, Welsh weather. So I have a few dry bags. You could use a bin liner if you really wanted to. Bin liners and lots of mini bin liners in between. But if you want to go all out, get yourself a dry bag. I go for one. It's always slightly bigger than the bag itself I've got, because you then roll it up so you've got lots of space to make sure it's very, very sealed. I have to recommend these ones, Sea to Summit ones, because not only are they fairly tough and light, but also once you do them up, you can squeeze the air out of them, which is actually really good, because often you'll do your dry bags up and you've got loads of air and you're taking up unnecessary space. So these are really good. And I always take a bunch of dry bags actually. Because I like to sort of colour coordinate and organise stuff. Even in your day rucksack, it's really good to have organisation, because if you're looking for something desperately like your gloves or your head torch, then knowing exactly where it is really, really good. And it also just adds another element of being rainproof, being waterproof, by having it double sealed. And one thing to remember, anything you're putting in your top flap of your rucksack, even though you've got this sort of waterproof cover that often comes with them, do put them in a waterproof bag as well, in a dry bag, just to keep everything safe. You do not want things getting wet, even if you're only out for the day. Next up, so you might love them or you might hate them, and that is the poles, the walking poles. Some people absolutely hate these things. I never used to really use them, but I started using them maybe 6-7 years ago. You just have to use them right, and then they become like you've got extra limbs. They're really, really helpful. The way to use them is to make sure they're the right height. A lot of people get them wrong height. If they're too high, that will just cause your hands to get cold. Too low, that's not doing much for support. So get them so your arm is sort of right angles to holding them. Make sure you're holding them right. If you put your hand through like that and then like that, then you can use that for extra support, and I find that really, really helpful. I mean, you can pick these up for really, really cheap. I would say I've had many, many cheap ones in the past, and they do break pretty quickly, and it's so annoying when they break. So I splashed out about 6 years ago on some black diamond light ones, but they're good, they've lasted, and they're not showing any signs of failing anytime soon, so thoroughly recommend. I've also used these for ski touring, so it shows you how much they can take. You can really wrap these around. You'll really, really thank these poles when you're coming down a mountain and your knees hurt, and these will help take the strain, take the weight off. And not only that, they also, if you're just doing hiking for sort of getting fit or getting moving, especially during lockdown, you just want to walk around, you might not even have any heels. But by using these properly, then you are getting a full body workout. So it's kind of like one of those cross trainers in the gym. They're really, really good. I'll use them just for that a lot of the time to build up some strength on the arms. Next up, right, water. I mean, we all need to drink, right? I take what's called an Nalgene. It's not like we get really, really, really hot weather in the UK. If you do, you might want to take one of the bigger ones of this. This is just a litre. You can throw these around. They are very, very, very tough. The good thing about this is it has a wide mouth. Wide mouth means it's easy to fill up. It also, a little tip for you, if you're ever going up to the Arctic or mountains or places that you just don't want to go out for a wee in the night, get yourself a different colour water bottle, not the one that you're going to drink out of. Have it as your pee bottle, and girls and boys, the wide mouth makes it much, much easier to pee in your tent. And if you're a master like me with your wee bottles, then you can indeed even stay in your sleeping bag. So you don't even need to get out of your sleeping bag to wee. That's for pros only. I would recommend practicing before then. The reason I like water bottles more than the bladders with the sort of mouth thing that sit in your rucksack is they're much easier to fill up from streams. They're also much easier to clean. I'm not one of the people that think you need to constantly sip. You can just take your breaks. It forces you to have a little bit of a break, which is a good thing. Get hydrated and then off you go again. So recommend an Nalgene. It will last for a long, long time. Right, what else do I carry in my bag? Well, let's presume that we are in the height of winter. Because especially right now, it's bloody freezing outside. Take some sort of insulation, whether that be a fleece, puffer jacket like this. This is just a sort of Patagonia one. It's lightweight, you can put it over anything. I love this thing. So yeah, make sure that's in a dry bag because you do not want that to get wet. It might not even be raining, remember. You might just be crossing a stream, or you might just have frost on the ground and your bag goes on the ground. So make sure that everything is in that dry bag. I can't say it enough. So yeah, just simple insulation, something to keep the warmth on, especially when you have your breaks. You never know when you might need it. Then of course it goes without saying to have some sort of waterproof. I mean, you've got to have your waterproof trousers and your waterproof jacket. This one is a Gore-Tex. I like Gore-Tex because I use this not only for stuff in the UK, but anywhere else. Sometimes climbing, sometimes up north, anywhere. It is slightly heavier, but it means that going through sort of brambles or anything like that, or rocks, it won't sort of break, and it's very, very breathable as well. So make sure you've got some sort of waterproof jacket. You can pick them up anywhere. You'll soon realise that the ones that aren't breathable are just going to make you wetter than even if it's raining. If you can, go for something breathable. I know it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but I would say it's probably the most important piece of kit you can get is a good jacket. Right, what else is in my bag? You might find it a bit weird that just for the day adventures, I take a head torch. Shouldn't be weird. People make mistakes, things go wrong, you lose your way. The dark nights come in quickly, and when they do, and if you can't see, you need a head torch. So some sort of head torch. This is just a Petzl, they're pretty cheap. Do try and make sure that it has a red light. A lot of people don't actually know why the red light is there. If you've ever been in Scotland with the midges or the mosquitoes and you have your normal bright light on, you'll find that the bugs are just in your face constantly. But if you put it on the red light, then the bugs won't be attracted. But also when you're hiking in the dark and you might have teammates and you're looking across someone. If you've got the red light, you're just going to startle them and ruin their night vision. And you're not going to sort of cause them to go, switch your head torch off. So yeah, use that red light when you can. It's actually really, really useful. I put this head torch in the top of my bag, in a dry bag of course, spare set of batteries. Just know where it is, because things can really go wrong if it's freezing out there and you can't find your head torch. So know where it is, keep it in the dry bag and have some extra batteries for it. Right, next up, a few bit of extra warm stuff. I always take a buff. I mean, often this will actually just stay on me the whole time. A buff is really, really, really useful. I'm sure lots of you know what they are. I just have it around my neck most of the time. You can wear it as a headband if you want. You can wear it as a sweatband if you like. It just creates so much extra warmth by putting it over your nose. I live off these things when it's cold. I thoroughly recommend. They're so much lighter than a scarf. Really, really good, easy to wash. Love these things. Simple gloves, hats, that sort of thing, just to make sure that if your hands do get chilly, that you have something to keep them warm. And again, dry bag them up, know where they are, keep them to hand. So if you do get chilly, you know exactly where they are. Next up, gonna be optimistic, hope that winter sun comes out. Sunglasses. You all know where to get sunglasses, don't really need to go into that. I have the sort of category 4 ones just because they're ones that I take on expedition. Cat 4 means that they're just better at sort of stopping the glare when you're on snowy areas. If you've ever been skiing, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, pair of sunglasses, always worth it. Just good to get into the habit of carrying them, really. I always carry a little penknife. I just got into the sort of habit of doing that. I love to carry a penknife because it just means if some of your gear needs fixing, you can figure it out. You always need a knife for something. You never know, you might have a bottle of wine that you just need to open. You're also going to want to take some food, whether that be some snack bars, some nuts, anything like that. Take some food, even if you think that you're only going for a short couple of hour trip. You just don't want your energy to go low. If you don't need to eat it, it's always good to just have something there if you need a bit of pick-me-up. Finally, first aid kit. Now, yeah, this is overkill. You do not need this big first aid kit. I've just grabbed this because it's the first thing I could find to represent. I wouldn't take this, of course, on day hiking adventures, but what I would do is open this up, take things like the plasters, the tape, things for blisters, and maybe some painkillers, ibuprofen, paracetamol, that sort of thing, and just put that in one of those sandwich bags, top flap it so it's easy to get to, top flap it by meaning in the bag. Easy to get to, it's waterproof, and then if you do need to sort out your feet or anything like that, then you know where to go. Sammy, come here, what's this? One sec. There was one thing, of course, that goes without saying, that I should say, compass or some sort of navigation device. We are talking about day adventures. If you know you're literally going to a place where you know has signal or whatever, I mean, people sort of moan about phones a lot, but the apps and the maps that are on the phones right now are so good. They have saved me and some friends when we've been ski touring up in the high Sierras. The apps that you have with the maps that you can download, the GPS works all the time, they really are good. So if you know that you've got enough battery and you know sort of the area roughly where you're going, awesome. It's kind of obvious to say you should try and learn how to use map and compass because they are the most reliable things when things go wrong. I always carry a map and compass just in case, but I mean, if you really are one of the people that love the GPS, carry that. I often don't carry the GPS. If I've got my phone and the map and the compass, I feel pretty secure unless I'm going on sort of things longer than a few days. Some people also like to carry some sort of safety device like an inReach or a spot tracker. I don't for sort of short trips, but I understand that if you're doing a solo hike and you would feel much more comfortable by taking one of those, then by all means, of course, do it. So that's really what I carry day to day on sort of day hiking adventures. Of course, if you live in the Rocky Mountains, you're going for a day hike, you're probably going to need a few extra bits like sort of, I don't know, bear spray. You might want a water purifier. This is just the basic, the essentials for you to check those off to make sure you've got it too for your local adventures. So I upload a video every 2 weeks on a Thursday at 2 p.m. If you've enjoyed this video, if you just want to follow along for the journey, then please do subscribe. It's somewhere over there. And I will see you next time for some more adventure videos. I'm here until lockdown's kind of over. I'm with Sammy. We're both in our jumpers, living this winter out, even though we're not able to go and adventure far afield. We're going to make the most of it, aren't we? Hey? Yeah, I feel ya. See you next time.
Bye.